Right now, Mayra is looking at me. And I've always assumed I know what that means. She loves me. She trusts me. She sees me. But here's the thing. What if I'm completely wrong about what's actually happening inside her head? What if the picture your dog builds of you has almost nothing to do with what you see when you look in the mirror? We anthropomorphize our dogs constantly. We look at their faces and see our own emotions reflected back. We assume that because the bond feels human, the way they experience it must be human too. But the science tells a different story. Not a lesser story, not a sadder story. A stranger and more remarkable story than most of us have ever considered. Your dog is not experiencing you the way another human would. They are experiencing you through a perceptual system that is, in certain dimensions, far more powerful than ours. They are reading things about you that you cannot read about yourself, and the bond between you, the one that feels so natural, so obvious, is actually one of the most scientifically remarkable relationships in the entire animal kingdom. In this video, we're going to go deep, not surface-level deep, lab coat, brain scan, peer-reviewed deep. By the end, you're going to understand your dog in a way that most dog owners never will. Let's start with an experiment that changed everything. It's 2002. A researcher named Brian Hare is at Harvard, and he's trying to answer a very simple question. Are dogs special? Not special like cute or loyal, special in a cognitive sense, special in the way their minds work. So he designs an experiment. He hides food under one of two cups. Then he points to the cup with the food, and he watches to see who can follow that gesture. He tests chimpanzees, our closest relatives, animals with large brains and complex social lives. They fail. Then he tests wolves, raised by humans, hand-fed, deeply socialized. They fail too. Then he brings in dogs, not just adult dogs, puppies, some of them just 6 weeks old, puppies that had barely interacted with humans at all. They get it right. Immediately. Without training, without trial and error. 6-week-old puppies outperform adult chimpanzees at reading a human gesture. Let that sink in for a second. A puppy with almost no experience of the world already understands that when a human points, that pointing means something. It's not just recognizing the gesture, it's reading the intention behind it. This isn't learned behavior. It's not conditioning. It's something built into dogs at a level so deep that it's already there before the world has had a chance to teach them anything. Following a gesture requires something very specific. Understanding that another creature's attention is pointing towards something meaningful. Scientists call this joint attention, the ability to share a focus with another mind. Chimpanzees interact with humans, but they don't naturally think in those terms. A chimp sees a pointing hand. A dog sees an intention. That's not a small difference. That's a cognitive gulf. Hare later ran another version using Belyaev's silver foxes, a population selectively bred for tameness over generations, but with no specific selection for intelligence. The tame foxes also showed an increased ability to follow human cues, which suggests something profound. Becoming oriented toward humans may come packaged with becoming better at reading them. The social and cognitive changes are linked. Dogs aren't just tame wolves. They are a completely different kind of social animal, one whose mind is specifically calibrated to yours. Hare's conclusion was simple and radical. Dogs are uniquely wired, at the biological level, to understand human communication. No other animal on the planet does this the way they do. Not primates, not wolves, not even the smartest animals we know of. And that's just the beginning. Gregory Burns is a neuroscientist at Emory University, and he did something almost no one had done before. He trained dogs to lie completely still inside an MRI machine. No sedation, no restraints, so he could watch their brains in real time. What he wanted to know was simple. When a dog smells something meaningful, what happens in its brain? He presented 5 different scents to each dog. Their own scent. A scent from an unfamiliar dog. A scent from a familiar dog. A scent from an unfamiliar human. And a scent from their familiar human, their person. Then he watched the caudate nucleus, the part of the brain associated with anticipation, with reward, with positive expectation. It's what lights up in a human brain when you see someone you love walk through the door. The familiar human scent activated the caudate more than any other, more than the smell of other dogs, more than their own smell, more than any stranger. And here's the detail that I find most remarkable. The familiar human whose scent was used was not the dog's handler in the room. That person wasn't even present, just their scent on a cotton swab held near the dog's nose. And the dog's brain responded. Your scent lives in your dog's mind as something worth anticipating even when you're not there. When Mayra smells my jacket on the couch while I'm out, something in her brain says, something good is coming. That is not trained behavior. That is neurochemistry. That is what you are to your dog at the deepest biological level. There's something else Burns discovered. Dogs can tell how long you've been away just from your scent. The intensity of your smell on objects in the home fades over time. Your dog is literally reading the clock through their nose, which means when you come home after a long day, your dog already knew, before you opened the door, roughly how long you'd been gone. They've been tracking that the whole time. Burns also found that the reward response varied based on who gave the signal. The signal from their specific person lit up the reward center differently than the same signal from a stranger. It's not just that dogs respond to humans. They respond to their human. There is a neurological specificity to the bond that goes far beyond general affection for the species. You are not interchangeable. To your dog, you are a category of one. But the scent is only part of the story. In 2015, a study was published in the journal Science, not a dog blog, not a pet magazine, but Science, one of the most prestigious scientific journals in the world. The researchers, led by Miho Nagasawa in Japan, wanted to understand what happens when a dog and a human look into each other's eyes. They measured oxytocin levels. Oxytocin is sometimes called the bonding hormone. It's released between mothers and newborns, between people who hug, who trust each other, who love each other. It's one of the core chemical signatures of social attachment. When a dog gazes at its owner, oxytocin levels rise, in both the dog and the human. The gaze triggers a release. The release deepens the bond. The deeper bond creates more gazing. They called it the oxytocin gaze positive loop. The same feedback loop that bonds human mothers to their infants is operating between you and your dog every time you look into each other's eyes. Then they tested wolves, raised by humans, hand-fed, well-socialized. When researchers looked into their eyes, the wolves looked away. No loop, no oxytocin rise, no bonding response. This isn't about wolves being less intelligent. It's about a very specific biological mechanism that exists in dogs, and only in dogs. The ability to lock eyes with a human and trigger a mutual hormonal bond. That is not something dogs learned. It's something they carry. So the next time Mayra stares at me across the room and I feel some wordless warmth, that's not me projecting. That's chemistry, running in both directions, simultaneously. If you've ever noticed that spending time just looking at your dog, not training, not playing, just being together and making eye contact, leaves you feeling calmer and more connected, you're not imagining it. That's oxytocin, real, measurable, physiological, and it's running in your dog at the same time, which means when you need comfort and you reach for your dog and your dog leans into you, you are both simultaneously releasing a bonding hormone because of each other. That is not a metaphor for connection. That is connection at the chemical level. In wolf society, prolonged direct eye contact is often a challenge, a threat. For dogs, it became something else entirely. It became a bridge. And your dog doesn't just read your eyes. Dogs are also reading something else constantly, something most owners never think about: their own bodies, specifically the tail. Researchers at the University of Trento discovered something subtle and precise. When a dog wags its tail more to the right, it's responding to something positive: a familiar person, a friendly dog. The left hemisphere of the brain, which controls the right side of the body, is associated with approach and positive engagement. When a dog wags more to the left, it's responding to something uncertain or stressful. And here's what surprised me most. Other dogs read this. When researchers showed dogs videos of other dogs wagging, the watching dogs responded differently depending on tail direction. Right-biased wag, calm, open, relaxed. Left-biased wag, heart rate up, guarded. Dogs are reading each other's emotional states through the asymmetry of a tail movement. But they're also reading you, your posture, your pace, the tension in your shoulders, whether you're moving toward them or away, the tone of your voice, not the words, but the emotional charge underneath them. A calm voice and a tense body tell your dog two different things at the same time. A study from the University of Lincoln found that dogs can distinguish between happy and angry human facial expressions, and that they use both face and voice together to assess your emotional state. They cross-reference. Face says one thing, voice says another. They notice the mismatch. Your dog is a constant, attentive reader of everything you broadcast. They just don't have a word for any of it. There's research showing that dogs' cortisol levels, cortisol is the primary stress hormone, track with their owner's cortisol levels over time. If you are a chronically stressed person, your dog is a chronically stressed dog. Not because they've learned to be anxious, because they're reading you. This is called emotional contagion, and it runs in both directions. Calm, secure dogs can have a measurable effect on their owner's heart rate and stress response. The bond is not just emotional, it's physiological. You and your dog are, in a very real sense, regulating each other. The question people usually ask is, how do I train my dog? But given everything we know from the science, maybe the more interesting question is, what is my dog reading in me right now? Because the answer to that question shapes everything that happens between you. Now let's talk about what your dog actually cannot see. After everything we've said about how tuned in your dog is, the scent recognition, the oxytocin loop, the emotional reading, there is something fundamental about you that your dog simply cannot perceive the way you think they can. Your face. Dogs are dichromats. They have 2 types of color receptors compared to our 3. They can't distinguish red from green. The vivid, full-color world you experience is not what Mayra sees. Her world is closer to what humans see in the blue-yellow range. But that's not where dogs compensate. It's where they transcend. Dogs have roughly 300 million scent receptors. Humans have about 6 million. Their olfactory cortex, the part of the brain dedicated to processing smell, is proportionally 40 times larger than ours. What this means is that your dog doesn't primarily see you. Your dog primarily smells you. Your health, your stress level, your hormonal state, whether you've been near other animals, what you ate, whether something is physically wrong with you before you know it yourself. There are documented cases of dogs detecting certain cancers, blood sugar crashes in diabetics, and oncoming seizures before any medical instrument registers anything. The nose is a diagnostic tool of extraordinary precision. So when you walk in the door and your dog greets you, they're not just happy to see you. They're reading a detailed olfactory report of where you've been, how you feel, and what state your body is in. Dogs can hear roughly 4 times the distance humans can. They detect frequencies up to around 65,000 hertz. We top out at about 20,000. And they can rotate each ear independently, triangulating the exact direction of a sound with a precision that no human possesses. Which means your dog probably hears your car before you've even turned onto your street. They hear your footsteps in the hallway before the door opens. They distinguish your specific gait from anyone else's. So build the full picture. When you come home, your dog isn't greeting a face. They're greeting a voice they know, a smell they've cataloged, a set of sounds that mean specifically you. You are not a face to your dog. You are a signature, a chemical story, one they know better than you know yourself. So, what does all of this actually mean? What does your dog actually see when it looks at you? Not the face you see in the mirror, not the clothes you chose this morning, not the version of yourself you present to the world. They see something much older than that, something more honest. They see the warmth in your chest when you're relaxed, the tension in your shoulders when you're stressed, the chemical signature that is uniquely, specifically you, a signature their brain has filed under. Something good is coming. They see the eyes that trigger a hormonal bond that neither of you chose and neither of you controls. Your dog isn't just an animal that tolerates humans. It's an animal whose entire perceptual system is oriented, at the biological level, toward you. Most of the relationships in our lives come with conditions, with expectations, with history that complicates things. Your dog builds their picture of you from the ground up, from raw data, from your actual scent and your actual movements and the actual chemical signals your body produces. There's no social performance in what they receive, no curated version, just the signal. And the signal they associate with you lights up the part of their brain that says, good. I have a background in dog training. I've spent years studying dog behavior. And even knowing what I know, even having read the studies, I still sometimes forget what's actually happening when Mayra and I are just sitting together in the same room. I forget that she is, at this moment, processing me, my breathing rhythm, my posture, the trace chemistry I'm leaving in the air, building her ongoing model of what I am, what I mean, what comes next when I'm around. That's not a burden. That's extraordinary. If you have a dog, you are someone's entire sensory world. You are the signal that their reward center anticipates. You are the eyes that trigger their bonding chemistry. Whatever else is going on in your life, however complicated things are, however much you feel unseen, there is an animal in your house for whom you are the most legible thing in the world. I think about this with Mayra sometimes. The way she watches me from across the room. The way she lifts her head when I come home, even before I've opened the door. She's not waiting to see me. She already knows I'm there. She's been reading me this whole time. I'm only now starting to understand what that means. They knew your scent before they knew your name. They mapped your emotional patterns before you ever gave them a command. They built a picture of you, chemical, acoustic, behavioral, that is more detailed and more accurate than most of the pictures humans form of each other. And at the center of that picture, in the part of their brain that lights up with positive anticipation, is you. Not a version of you, not the best version of you, just you. As you are. Right now. I find that worth knowing. If this changed something in the way you think about your dog, even slightly, I want to hear about it. Tell me in the comments, what does your dog do that you've never been able to explain? I read every single one. Like the video if it gave you something to think about. Subscribe if you want to keep going deeper into dog science with Mayra and me, and I'll see you in the next one.